Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Gonna make a little tutorial on a slideshow. So here's what we're gonna build. It's going by itself, the slideshow. This is gonna be like your banner or your header of your website. You put a navigation up here or something, but we're just gonna work on the slideshow for today. So you see these two arrows. So when we click on the right, it'll go to image 2, 3, and then back to 1, 2, 3. Left also works. You can go back 3, 2, 1, and it's also going by itself in the background. So let's go over to the code and start from scratch. We're going to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. No type of libraries or frameworks, no type of third party, nothing. Maybe just Font Awesome for these arrows or something. Okay, so let's open up our Visual Studio Code. I got a folder I made called Slideshow Tutorial. You can call it what you like. Just drag it in or open up your folder. So I already got a folder I made called Images with 3 images I brought in. I use paint.net. You can resize it. So just bring some image in here. Just click image and resize. And don't forget, if you want to turn off the maintain aspect ratio, that might be helpful. Turn it off and set it to however you want. You might be using Photoshop, however you do it. So I got 3 images. Can't close that, cancel. So I got 3 images here right now in an images folder. Let's see. Let's create an index HTML. Not inside there. In the root. Okay. And HTML 5. Call it slideshow. Okay, good. Link our CSS. Let's create that file. Let's also make our JavaScript main.js. Alright, underneath here, script main.js, defer. This way we don't have to put it at the bottom. Just put in the keyword defer attribute and the JavaScript will load properly. Okay, in our body of HTML, well, first off, let's put our Font Awesome CDN. So actually, let me see. In our codedriven.net, here's our Font Awesome, our CDN to Font Awesome, because we're going to use some arrows. And it's in the blog. I'm going to leave this in the description. You can actually copy and paste all of this. Here's the HTML, here's the CSS, and here's the JavaScript at the bottom. Okay, let me close this. So we're still in the head, so underneath. Okay, I'm just pasting in that Font Awesome. So what we're gonna do then is, in the body, let's make a class dot slideshow dash container. Okay, and inside of there, we're actually gonna put our arrows arrow left, arrow right. So we have a class, and then our font awesome inside of a div. Okay, you can pause the video if you want, then if you want to type it in. So section dot slide, and inside of our slide we want to put an image. Source equals and images / image1 and some kind of caption. So I'm just going to put a paragraph of the class image dash caption. Image1. So here's our first slide. It's linking to our images up here. Image 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to actually copy and paste this down now. So actually, if you highlight it, hold in Shift and Alt, and then the down arrow. Click the down arrow again while still holding in Shift and Alt. And we created 3 slides. Image 2, image 3. Okay, I'm gonna hit save. Pull this to the left, and if you right click on it and open with live server, make sure you have the extension installed for live server. Let's pull this off to the right. Where to go? Okay, so all our folders and files are kind of created for now. So I'm going to close this. As you can see, it's not linking. Oh, because these are .jpg. Come on. .jpg. Okay, hit save. So we have 3 really large images right now. And see, there's a caption underneath. And we can't see the arrows because, oh, I didn't put the bottom arrow. So on the bottom, I'm going to copy and paste this in real quick. Control V. Let me make this large. So here's our class of arrow right and arrow, as well as the font awesome icon. Can't see it right now because we got to make the CSS and make them absolute. Okay, so that's about it for our HTML. I just formatted it a little better, give it some space separation here. So let's go to the CSS. Let's start styling that. I'm going to actually, let's initialize a lot of our defaults. So let me paste this in. So we got the asterisk here. Going to give it a margin 0 padding, border box, list style none, text decoration none, in case you have any anchor tags or list items. So then below there, let's start doing our CSS. Let's do the slideshow container. And let's actually decide how wide we want our image to be by adjusting the container, because we're going to make the image itself like a width of 100% of its parent. So let's work on the parent of the image, which is the slideshow container. I'm going to say width. Let's make that 80% or 80 VW of the view width or viewport width. Margin. So let's just make it so it's not so high at the top. 80 pixels auto and 0 on the bottom. I'm going to hit save and let's see what we got so far. So on index HTML, I'm actually going to right click and open with live server. You can open up in the browser however you choose, but this is what we got so far. See, I put this margin at the top. And okay, image, img width 100%. Height, let's say auto. Image caption. Image caption, so let me actually just paste this all in. I'll leave a link in the description for the blog. So the image caption, we'll give a font size of 6 EM, color royal blue, position is absolute, z-index of 5, top 50 pixels, right 0, we're giving a margin right of 60 pixels. But what we want to do is make sure our container is a position of relatives. So position relative, that way our image caption will be relative to our slideshow container. Let's see what we got so far. Yes, so it's either all here right now. We're gonna fix that with the JavaScript. Well, let's keep working on our CSS for now. Okay, now let's target all the arrows. So remember we have two different classes, arrow left to target the individual arrow and then arrow on both. So you can target both at the same time. So in our CSS, I'm going to copy this in. So let's give them all a cursor, a pointer, position absolute as well. Top will be 45%, index 5, font size 45 pixels, giving it a transition, color, you can just give it any kind of black color, and some padding, 5 pixels by 10. Not even necessary to put that for the arrows. Actually, let me just take that out. You actually don't even need to use the transition. That was for another project I used. But we can leave it at that. Hit save. See what we got so far. Where's our arrows? Let's see, is font also not working? resource has been blocked. The resource has been blocked. Maybe it's the integrity is a problem. Let's just remove the integrity. There's our arrows. Now they're working. Getting some kind of error from the integrity. I had to remove that. You could just go to fundawesome.com and make your own account and get your own deviant links. It's probably easier that way. Or just remove that integrity if you're getting any type of error. I don't know, but anyways, that's all you gotta do. So like I said, the arrows are right here. They're kind of overlapping. So we're gonna fix that right now in CSS. Arrow pointer absolute. So let's target arrow left. And we're gonna give it a left 0. So it's gonna be pretty much 0 pixels from the left of the screen. But let's also give it a margin left. And 20 pixels. And copy that class. We're going to do the arrow right. Change these lefts up to right, margin right, 20 pixels. Save that. Refresh. Okay, so it's pretty much at the middle. All good. That's actually it for the CSS. It's going to change with JavaScript because we're only going to want one of these images to show at a time. So we're going to have to do some initialization. So let's go to our JavaScript. Let's make a const slides equals document dot query selector all. And what this is going to do is grab all the elements with the class of slide all the elements of the class of slide, and it's pretty much going to be an array with all of these classes of slide. So now we put that in a variable. Let's make a counter. So let counter equals 0. And we got to make a function. This function will be used to make all the slides hidden temporarily. So function reset. Let's make a for loop. So for I equals 0 as long as I is less than slides dot length I will plus plus. So we're going to loop through this array, and then inside there we're going to say slides I dot style display. Oops, what happened there? Equals none. Okay, so if we fire this function down here, this needs to be in either single or double quotes. So I'm going to hit save again. They're all gone. So that's what happens when you use that function. But I'm actually going to make another function for when the page loads. So function load page. Okay, so in our load page, we want to first, when the page first loads, we want to reset. So we're going to fire that function, and then after that, we're going to slides 0. So we go to the first item dot style dot display equals block. Okay, so we want to fire this load page right away whenever the page loads. So when we right click on one of the arrows or left, we want to make something happen. So let's first make that function for the right click. So what the function is going to first do is reset, set them all to display none, and then we're going to change it. So slides and we're going to change it to counter, whatever the counter is currently on. In the beginning we set it to 0 up here, so counter, and then we'll just say +1, and then dot style dot display equals block. Okay, but we got to do an if statement, because what if we get past like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and there isn't no number 6 in our array? So right under this reset, let's actually say if counter is currently on slides.length -1, because remember the array is 0 index, but when we use the dot length it discounts 1, 2, 3. So length -1. So if we meet that condition, we're going to just change counter equals, and we're going to say -1. Let's not forget to, underneath here, counter ++. So that way we are incrementing our counter after the function call. So with this right click, we can just go down to the bottom. There's many ways to do it. I like to use the add event listener, or you can just do it in the HTML. So let's go to HTML for our icon and say on click equals, and then some quotes, right click and make sure it fires with parentheses. Test that out and see if it works. So let's make sure we save. Go to main.js and save. Oh, that's our left arrow. So let's put it at the bottom where the right arrow is. You can put it after or before the class, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to paste that in there and save. Ooh, what do we got here? Oh, it's missing a closing quote. Okay. Refresh. Let's click on this arrow and it's working. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, we're going to do the same thing for the left. It's a little bit different of logic that goes in there, but not too much. Let's go down here in function. Left click. So we're going to reset so that they're all temporarily display none. And let's say slides. It's going to be counter -1. Style dot display equals and block. Alright, remember we need to set another condition for this too, and the condition's a little different. Let's say if, so counter is equal to 0 because we're going backwards. What we'll do is set the counter to equal slides dot length should do, yeah, let's leave it like that, slide, because we put the -1 here. So slides dot length, and of course counter minus minus, so we're decrementing the counter. Alright, so we reset it. If the counter is on 0 and we're going backwards, what we're going to do is set the counter to slides.length and then slides counter -1, which since counter will be 3, we're going to set it to 2, will be display block, and the counter itself will finally decrement. So let's copy this function and we're going to put it in our index HTML, find the left arrow. There's our extra quote. So on click equals and paste it in there, Control V, left click and save. Let's check out our project. Make sure it's refreshed. So I'm going to click right to 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let's click left. Oops. Cannot read properties of undefined. Main.js 38. Let's see, line 38. I don't think I saved it. That's why. Let's hit save. Go back to the project. Let's hit left. Alright. 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. However many slides you put in there. Because remember, you can just go to index and just make another slide, put it underneath. Just copy that and paste it under. And last but not least, if you want to make the project so that it's moving on its own, I got a quick solution. I'm using it right at the bottom of our JavaScript. We're going to use the set interval function. Okay, and inside there, let's use right click, put a comma, and then how many seconds do you want to increment it? Let's say every 5 seconds, or yeah, 5 seconds will be 5,000 because we're using milliseconds. And basically we're just going to refire right click over and over again every 5 seconds. So let's hit save, go back to the project, refresh, and just wait. There we go. See, 5 seconds has passed. It's going on its own. And at the same time, you can change them when you click on these arrows too, manually. But still, every 5 seconds, that set interval will be going on its own. So, hope you liked the project, and thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good one.